My parents both moved here as adults. My dad and his family came over first. So they were originally from Indonesia but had moved to the Netherlands when my dad was about 10. So they had applied for permission to come to the United States, and the whole process took about 5 years. So at that point my dad had already started dating my mom, who was born and raised in the Netherlands. So my dad and his family moved to the U.S. and settled in Chicago, and then my dad was able about a year later to bring my mother over, and they got married. My husband and I decided to live in South City in St. Louis before we knew that we would ever be adopting internationally, but it was such a great decision and such a blessing. It's very helpful because there's a lot of opportunity for us, my husband and I, to understand more about our children's cultures, but also for them to see other people from the country that they were born in. Our daughter was born in Wuhan, China, and we adopted her, and she was born in 2004, and we adopted her in November of 2005. And so we brought her home when she was a year old, and her name was Chi Jiahua, which was actually the name her orphanage had given her. Now her name is Kaylee Grace Jiahua. She loves everything about China, so she knows she's from China and she knows she's adopted, but it has not been an issue for her at all. So she knows the Chinese flag and the American flag, and those are her flags. So we try to keep some Chinese culture in her life. We take her to Chinese festivals, and she loves Chinese food, and she'll request it. There's a great Chinese restaurant down the street from here, and she'll say, "I want Chinese noodles." But she knows that she's American too. Getting her to this country was a long process. Not as long as it is now. International adoption has become a lot more difficult, but there's so much paperwork involved. It is crazy, not just from the local, state, and federal level of the United States, but also all the different layers of paperwork you need from the other countries' government. So it's pretty overwhelming. But she came in on a different visa than our son came in on. So as soon as she stepped foot in Los Angeles when we landed, she became a U.S. citizen. My son Beck was born in August of 2009 in southern Ethiopia, and we brought him home with us in April of this year. He's an amazing little boy. Bringing him home and actually getting him in Ethiopia was an amazing experience. The process was a little harder and longer this time. We thought, having been through one international adoption, the second one would be easier, but every country has its own rules and regulations. Because the Ethiopian court did the paperwork before we got there, as opposed to in China, all the court stuff happens while you're there, it's some rule that since we didn't see him before we officially were legally his parents, that he comes in on a different visa than our daughter did. So when he arrives, he's a permanent resident, and we still have to go through the whole process of making him a citizen. We definitely will try, but it's, that said, it's a challenge just to incorporate even more holidays and observances into daily life, but it's definitely a goal because we want them to always know that while they're American, there's another culture that they grew up in, because I know growing up that way, it was fascinating to me, and I want them to be able to enjoy that knowledge too. We call ourselves sort of like a little UN family. My husband and I were both born here, but he's English-Irish. I'm Dutch and Indonesian. Our daughter is Chinese, and our son is Ethiopian.